Hello, my dear friend, I'm back once again. This time, I want us to look at delays in the educational area of life. Maybe in the last JAMB exam, you sat and you did not get admitted. Maybe in the last promotion exam, you took, but you were not successful. Maybe you were even in a particular level in the university and you ended up with one or two carryovers. And here you are depressed. Here you are unwilling to move on. That's not the end of the road. That's not the end of the world. I'm talking from the point of experience. In one of my videos, I shared how I did not do or experience certain stages of life at the same time or in the same period with my age mates. That was not the end of the road. Was I depressed? Yes, I was. Did I feel bad? Yes, I did. But then, life goes on. Life goes on. There comes a time that when you have to ask yourself, do I want to go on? Is this the end of the journey for me? Or do I still want to achieve the goals I've set my mind upon? I sat and I asked myself some questions. What should I have done that I did not do? What did I do that I did wrong? What did I do right but I did not do well? You know, you can do something right but not as good as you should have done it. There are some cases where people sit for exams due to some official hitches. One gets a no answer, not through the fault of yours. And there are times everything seems to have been perfect, and somehow we just didn't get the desired result. How do I go on? Ask yourself, do I have the stuff that will get me to the goal? Am I determined to still make it to my goal? In my 100 level in the university, I had a receipt. That is, I did not make the 40% mark that could have qualified me for a pass in a particular course. And the lecturer put a notice on her door. I will withhold the name of that lecturer. And she said we could come into her office for a chat to know why we failed that course. I went in, and the reason she gave me was not because I did not know the course, was not because I did not do my assignment, was not because of anything that actually had to do with the course. She said that she realized that when I write, I do not separate my capital letters from my small letters. For example, when I would write a word like what or why, my W and H would be joined together. When I would write a word like this or that, starting a sentence, my T and my H will be joined together. Can you imagine how I felt when my lecturer said it was about the way I wrote in my answer script? I worked very hard. at that course. And I made a mistake of not checking after that exam. This time, instead of the 38 I got the first time, the lecturer gave me a 39. And by the time I realized this, I was already in the second semester of my 200 level. I couldn't take it in my 300, so it had to be a 400 level course. By the time I was to take it for my 400 level, I went to the lecturer and she said she was not going to allow me to take it. Of course, it meant I would have to come in for Harmattan semester. That's the first semester. That would be my 5th year on campus. As of this time, my junior sister was already on campus, and she was now in her 200 level. Of course, I had to squat with her, but I was determined to make sure that I did better. I attended my classes, I did my assignments, I sat for my tests, I became a role model. I was not distracted because I told myself the mistakes that got me to the point of having a carryover or a receipt, I was not going to do it again. If you're on campus and you have groups where they sit to discuss, where your classmates sit to discuss constructively about the subjects, please, if you believe it will be beneficial, join them. Revise from time to time before the classes. Ensure that you leave no gray area. Don't wait for cronje. Don't look for questions where they are not. Check the syllabus. Cover the syllabus. Ask for professional help. Work hard. Pray. Ask God to help you. But above all, remember that you win from deep within here. Believe in yourself. Believe in God. Believe in that which the Lord will give you the grace to do. Having a carryover, having a receipt, or not even getting admission, as that when you desire is not the end of the world. Get up. Let's move on. This is a new year. It's still very fresh. Let's determine that we're going to leave the past behind and forge ahead. I await your testimonies. Today I'm a graduate. How many years ago? Decades ago I graduated. Today, after how many degrees? I'm here. The carryover is the least of the issues. Let yours too be a story that has a beautiful ending. See you next time.